Thank you for coming. I'll be back shortly.
Thank you. Dad, I'm losing my house. What should I do?
Son, your mother and I were there, and Lumen Earl filed a Chapter 13 for us. He even set up a payment plan we could afford. He saved our home, and he kept my check from garnishment. Give Lumen a call. I'm sure he could help you too.
Lumen Earl, solving people's financial problems for over 30 years. Call today for free consultation.
Hello, my name is Ricky Porter, and we're at the First African Baptist Church here in Dublin, Georgia, for the Oconee High School National Alumni Association 4th Annual Oratorical Contest. You've got that, Oratorical Contest. And you will know more about that word when you pay attention to this show. For right now, however, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Frenchie Hodges. You met her on a previous show. Ms. Hodges is a part of this contest. And why don't you say a word about what this contest is all about?
Well, before I do, may I add to your list of sponsors?
Yes.
It's also sponsored, in addition to Oconee, by the Fort Valley Alumni Association of Lawrence County, Dublin, Georgia, and by Dublin Tourism Council.
Okay, very good. And before you go on, tell us who this young man is.
This is Kevin Warren. He's a returning contestant. He's a senior this year at Stone Mountain High School. This contest is open to any student in Georgia.
Okay, and I understand you're making a presentation today?
Yes, sir.
And what is the theme of your presentation?
The theme of my presentation is Sacred Grounds, details on sacred grounds of African Americans throughout history. So,
And are you nervous?
a tad bit, but I'm confident.
Well, I wish you well.
Yes, sir.
So, Ms. Hodges, tell us, what is an oratorical contest?
An oratorical contest is a
Speak loud.
It's a formal speech contest. The students have been coming together for 3 years with their own prepared contest speeches, presentations. However, the first year we did it was when Dublin celebrated the bicentennial, and we paraded all the famous words of great orators from days immemorial.
Okay.
But now we are making new orators, and we are showcasing them in their development, much as Martin Luther King Jr. was showcased when he was 14 here at this same
African
church.
Baptist
That's
Church.
right.
Well, this television newscast, At Home in Dublin with Ricky Porter, will feature the top 3 winners of the day's contest. And so you will get a chance to see all of them and hear their speeches in its entirety. Right now, however, we want you to meet one of the contestants, Mr. Waring, and we remind you of Miss Frenchie Hodges, who's a part of this organization. So you'll hear from me after the presentations, and we hope that you will enjoy them as much as I am looking forward to enjoying them. And Mr. Waring, I wish you well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hodges.
Thank you, Dr. Porter.
Hi, my name is Amani Beauchamp. I attend Dublin Middle School, and my topic of my speech is mentorship. Hi, my name is Amani Beauchamp. Mentors shape the lives of individuals that have the potential to be exceptional in some way. I want to share with you today the mentorship of Reverend James Lawson. He mentored young people who became leaders in America. He shared his life experiences and belief in nonviolence. His efforts changed the future, which is now my present. I want to recognize the locations, ground centers, in Nashville, Tennessee, where he conducted his workshops on nonviolent civil resistance. Reverend Lawson set in motion from these locations real change in America, and we should remember these locations as hollow ground. Reverend James Lawson was raised as a pacifist. His father was a Methodist preacher from Canada. His mother was from Jamaica. She consistently urged young Lawson to always be guided by love to solve problems. Reverend Lawson, life experiences, molded him to be a mentor of leaders. In 1947, he attended Baldwin-Wallace College. In Brea, Ohio, he associated with organizations that were devoted advocates to direct nonviolence to racism. A dedicated pacifist, arrested and imprisoned because he was a conscientious objector against the Korean War. After he was released, he traveled to India and studied the Gandhian principles of Satyagraha, the strategy of nonviolence. Lawson returned to the U.S. in 1956 and went to Dublin College. He met Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. there, who urged him to go south and aid in the civil rights movement. Lawson answered the call and went south to Nashville, Tennessee in 1959. And this is the period I want to bring to your attention this evening. With respect to his life experiences and scope of work he did in Nashville, Tennessee, transformed the area to hollow ground. At 4 black colleges, Fish University, American Baptist College, Mayberry Medical Center, and Tennessee State University, he started mentoring small groups of workshops of students of all races. His mentees became well prepared and began staging sit-ins throughout the South. I would encourage all elders to share your life experiences like Reverend Lawson. His mentorship in Nashville empowered him to tilt the moral scale of the civil rights in America. Thank you.
When my husband experienced chest pain, I knew he had to go to the ER at Fairview Park Hospital because it had an accredited chest pain center. Chest pain isn't like a broken arm or a high fever. They treat chest pain like the serious condition it is, and they treat it fast. And it was a good thing we knew the difference because my husband was in cardiac arrest.
Oh, I was fine.
Now he is.
Treat chest pain like chest pain. Choose the ER at Fairview Park Hospital.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tatiana Mitchell. I'm an 11th grader at Dublin High School, and my speech is entitled Dwelling in History. Let us talk about definitions for a moment. It says in the Webster's Dictionary that dwelling is a place where one can live, stay, or reside. So I thought, on the topic of historical places, I realized that great African American men and women and their acts and who dwelled there made these places truly great. You see, it wasn't enough for them to just fight the fight so that we could live and stay where we do today. They had to stay the course, and they had to dwell. And so in the spirit of historical places of African American excellence, the word dwell takes on a whole new meaning, and everything I've ever needed to be successful in life is found by dwelling in history. D is for daring to dream. Now we all know the story of Harriet Tubman, Queen Moses we call her, for her valiant efforts and her bravery, 19 trips to be exact, escorting slaves from the north back to the south, from the south back to the north, to freedom. This pursuit of freedom has played out many times within movies, stories, and off the tongue of great orators of the past. Her story is like the greatest action movie of our time, but what about the quiet moments? The moments where I'm sure Harriet Tubman spent as a slave, hoping and praying for freedom. What about those times where she sat wondering if she was ever going to be free? If you learn anything from her story, is that all stories state with a single act of boldness. I submit to you today, have the audacity to dream. You come from a long line of ancestry that is known for greatness and nothing but. You just have to dare to dream. Anything that your brilliant mind can imagine, you can do it. In this case, for Harriet, it was the dream of freedom. What will be yours? W represents work. Another historical location located in Southeast Washington, D.C. is the humble, assertive man, orator, abolitionist, and writer, Frederick Douglass. We hold many of his words of wisdom and reverence, but one thing that resonates that he has said is this: you may not get all you work for in this world, but you most certainly work for all that you get. You see, the formula to success is simple. In order to achieve anything that you desire, you want, you need, you have to work for it. It's a discipline almost. You have to work hard all the time. Not just when the situation calls for it, not just when people are watching, but when you don't have an audience, but when no one believes in your vision but you, and even in the times of darkness and despair. I encourage you, work hard in these moments. We celebrate Black History today because men like Frederick Douglass put in the hard work even when no one was watching. I encourage you to do the same. E is for education. Another historical site, the Tuskegee Institute was built by renowned educator Booker T. Washington in 1881. This institution was instrumental to African American development in academics. Notably, another famous African American, George Washington Carver. It is important to realize that without an education, the work and the ethic that I mentioned earlier will not be as effective. Education is not just a feeling of facts within the brain. Sure, you can be educated, but you have to be smart. You must be relentless in your pursuit of great education, and you must attack it with fervor. An intangible right that our ancestors fought for relentlessly. Know that your gifts are unique, and that you do not have to dim others' lights in order to make yours ignite. You always remember, always in education, that you are never the teacher. You are always the student. There is never anything that you cannot learn. 2 L's, living and loving. Our very own historical site, this hollow dwelling, the oldest African-American church in Dublin. This we probably know. A 15-year-old student delivered a speech entitled The Negro Constitution, who later went on to become the face of the civil rights movement. We all know this as well. But do you know that this wasn't the first African-American Baptist church? Come on, how many of you knew that? This current building was built after the first wooden structure was torn down in 1914. Life is inevitably full of trials that will test your resolve, and if you let them, they too will tear you down. But you must not give in to these things. You must appreciate the beauty of life given to us by our great Savior, Jesus Christ. It took love to restore this beautiful structure. Love restores us well. Live a life full of love. Love yourself. It is the greatest gift that you can bestow upon yourself and others. DWELL. As I leave you today, I invite you to dwell in the moment as we celebrate our hallowed grounds of Black history. Dare to dream your greatest dream. Work hard and educate yourself. And live a life full of loving. Thank you.
We have just concluded the oratorical contest at First African Baptist Church here in Dublin, Georgia. So the noise that you're hearing in the background is noise of excitement and gratitude for all of our winners. I'd like for you to see them at this time. For our middle school group, our 3rd place winner was Aviance C. Marshall. Congratulations, Ms. Marshall. Thank you. Our 2nd place winner was Kier Beauchamp. Congratulations, Mr. Beauchamp. And our 1st place winner, whose presentation you will see here on TV 35, is Imani Beauchamp. Thank you. And now for our high school group, the third place winner, Mr. Isaiah K. Harmon. Congratulations, Mr. Harmon.
Thank you.
Our second place winner is Mr. Kevin S. Waring. Congratulations, Mr. Waring.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good. And our first place winner, whose presentation you will hear right here on TV 35, is indeed Miss Tatiana Mitchell. Congratulations, Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. You may be congratulated. So again, thank you for being with us at home in Dublin with Ricky Porter. I hope you have enjoyed the presentations of Miss Tatiana Mitchell and Miss Imani Beauchamp. Thank you very much.